Welcome back, folks. We have the Dow Industrials up 10, Nasdaq's up 17, S&Ps are up 4.5. Let's go over to our man, Mr. Basil Chapman, and don't forget, folks, every trading day right here at TFNN, Basil's got a great show, 11 to 12 Eastern Standard Time. No matter where you are in this great world of ours, you can get it right on your cell phone. Go to TFNN.com, hit Tiger TV on the right-hand side. He's got a great newsletter. Better yet, though, guess what? Right now, tonight, 6 o'clock tonight, 6 to 7:30. Basil's going to be doing a 3-part course. It starts tonight, 6 to 7:30, goes to December 20th, 6 to 7:30, January 10th. We'll let Basil tell you all about it. Basil Chapman, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
So you all set?
All set. In fact, I got to whittle away to get rid of some of these charts. There's so many that I want to try to fit everything in the 90 minutes. I don't want anything left over. So I'll be whittling away to make it as concise as possible.
Perfect, man. So tell us about it.
So basically what we're doing is in this very first webinar, let me just give you the setting right here. So webinar 1, so first of all, simple technical tools to analyze charts. Basil Chapman's 3-session webinar course using the Chapman Wave techniques. This is December the 6th, December 20th, January the 10th. These are Tuesdays, and Tuesday 6 p.m. to 7:30 starting tonight. And the very first webinar will be taking just the bare chart and then learning how to identify the peaks, the core Chapman Wave concept. And what is that? That's going from a low bar, an identifiable low bar, merely counting each successively higher peak until you get to the 4th highest, which is peak D. Other things can happen. It can continue higher. It can turn around. It could go sideways. That's where we look at that's the objective, is to get you to D, and then other things can happen, and that's what we plan for. How to count the peaks and the troughs and the implications, to correctly identify the peaks and the troughs. It's really important. That's your only real obligation, because the technique is so simple. And in fact, let me just do this because it's live, and I'd like to do this live. Let me go to this chart. This is the IWM. There's nothing more simple than this. Look, you've got your up arrow, you've got a peak A, you've got a peak B. When it pulled back, we went long via the 300% long. We've got a small position there. And we were looking for leg C. Today it made leg C. I mean, A, B, C. That's the basic, the core of the technique. The next thing that we do is, let me get rid of this. If you look at the Dow, we're in leg D. I'm going to show how you can use trend lines. This first one has to do with trend lines. I'm not going to do moving averages, anything like this, keeping it really basic. The idea is to get you to D, and we are along the Dow, and the monthly chart has gone to D. But look at this trend line. We're right in what I call Chapman Wave inside track repellent or resistance line. Now, the big challenge for the Dow on the monthly basis is to break into the 19,400s. And it might be a little difficult because we've gotten to an E in the Chapman Wave daily. We're in the weekly chart. There's still a question. It's a very strong leg up, but I have to identify exactly what it is. And right now, I'm calling it F/A. But what's really important about this, in pertaining to the techniques that we'll learn, is how do you go from the low, how do you identify the low, and how do you start counting it? And then once you start counting it, what's the objective? Well, the objective is to go from a buy signal to upgrade it to a buy mode. The implication is the buy mode will take you to peak 4. That's peak D, the 4th highest peak. So those are the essentials. But it also helps you identify tops. You remember we spoke some time ago that I used this technique in the Chapman Wave to identify a peak F top in Edwards Life Sciences. It had a high, all-time high of 121.75 on the 10th of October. The very next day, we shorted it at 121.41. That's 30 cents off the top. And look where it is now. It's at 83. It is down 31 or 32%. And it's all basic. There's the down arrow. This is a peak E in the weekly chart. And so these are the techniques. So the first one is going to be identifying the buy signal to buy mode. And then later on, as we're going to the second one, which is in 2 weeks' time, we start looking at the MACD and the slow stochastic. So it's the core. Let me go back to this. The core is, how do you use this? How do you identify trend lines? For instance, just looking at this with you and me right now, I'm saying, hey, there's a really nice trend line right there. And
Okay.
a trend line is just a single line that I like to identify by making very obvious peaks and troughs on the left side that you can use as a springboard to match peaks on the other side. So here we are. We've got this high, that high, and the straight line goes right to that peak B, and peak C says it could still go up a little bit to the, we're looking at the IWM, it could go to 135.32, then it bumps against that trend line. So this is very interesting because my belief right now is that the Dow doesn't have all that much to go on the upside before it has a more, let's call it a deeper pullback. And now we're getting the rotation. If you look at the New York Stock Exchange, there's catch-up going on at this particular point because the NYA.X, that's 2,000 stocks, is in leg A, B, C, D. It's in leg E, and it's still showing. So you remember the New York Stock Exchange has been lagging most of the year.
Yeah.
It hasn't gone to a new recovery high.
Right.
All of a sudden, it's brought to the IWM, the Russell 2000, and the New York Stock Exchange Composite Index 2,000 stocks playing catch-up. And this rotation going into the end of the year is, I'm anticipating that it's going to make it frustrating for the bears and even for the bulls if they're in the wrong area, because if you're looking at some of the top NASDAQ stocks, I identified a little bit a while ago that a stock like an Amazon hasn't gone back to the highs. It's made what I call it's almost like a hat trick top, daily, weekly, and possibly the monthly.
Okay.
So this means that it makes the webinar even more important because we should try to identify stocks that are just coming out of a base. And we're also going to look at why certain areas are failing, why they look like they're about to take off and then they go to lower lows. So it's a very important webinar because we're looking at the sectors. I think the steel stocks have been fantastic. Now I think they're really close to a multi-week pullback. So the rotation is really important. And I'm going to show the charts, what I call the naked chart. Nothing there like I showed you the IWM. Then we add the trend lines. We add the different moving averages. So it's a step-by-step. This is the first night.
Yes.
And we will go through it, and they'll be able to archive it throughout the weeks that we are doing the series. They'll be able to get my newsletter. I show them the Dow every single day. I do the analysis of the Dow. And the 120-minute chart is going to be absolutely fascinating because it's in a phase right now that says if it goes just a little higher, then we're going to start to see just exactly what kind of a sell signal I will get when I finally get the sell signal, which could be within another few days. That is on the Dow. So I'm just waiting for the IWM to complete its leg D. It's only in C right now. Yes?
Folks, come over to our website at TFNN. You're going to see this right on the very front. Okay, so you're right in the top of the carousel. You're going to see our man, Simple Technical Tools to Analyze Charts, 3-part course with our man, Mr. Basil Chapman. The course is $295. If you're a subscriber, you get a $100 discount. What you get with this course, folks, you not only get 4.5 hours of great education and understanding the Chapman Wave, but you're going to get Basil's newsletter the whole time also. So it's a great deal. Check it out right on the front page of TFNN. Starts tonight, 6 to 7:30. If you can't make it live, don't worry. It's archived. You can listen to it as many times as you want. Basil, you have a great next hour and a half, and we look forward to the workshop at 6 o'clock.
Thank you very much, Tom. Have a great evening.